Okay. Welcome. Welcome to this live. It's going to be short and sweet. So we titled this Getting Up into a Dark Room, Up into Your Dark Room, and Turning on Your Christ Light. So last time we spoke about the importance of doing the ascended breath work, squeezing the energy up from the lower energy center so that you can squeeze all that dormant energy you've been storing in your kidneys, in your uterus, in your adrenals, in your ovaries, in your testicles, and using that energy to get up, to bathe the inner chamber of the heart, to bathe the inner chamber of the ventricles, and get up into the ventricles so that you actually allow this Christos oil to be secreted and for you to bathe your nervous system with cerebral spinal fluid. So when you lift the third ventricle inside the head, there's 4 ventricles. There's lateral ventricles, which are 1 and 2, and then there's a third, and then there's a fourth. And when you are breathing that energy up into the dark room, into the inner chamber, you're lifting up the tent, you're lifting up the ventricles so that more cerebrospinal fluid can be produced from the choroid plexus, which is what the walls are made of. Are these like almost like vessels that are producing the cerebrospinal fluid to keep you lubricated, to keep your nervous system lubricated, to keep you calm, to keep you illuminated with the inner Christ, to anoint yourself with Christ oil. So our meditation and our prayer and our time within is so important. And especially with lucid dreaming or dreaming wide awake when you're in the day and the night. So when we're doing that meditation practice and we're lifting up the inner chamber, you're making your way into the upper astral realm so you can see clearly when it is dark. You can see clearly in the night, so you can wake up in the dream, and if you don't wake up fully in the dream, so that you remember your dreams in the rising, so that you can at least wake up right there and go, you know, what am I still working with in the lower chamber, in the lower three floors of your body? Your stability, your emotions, and your power. And, you know, where are you still needing to rise up into the heart and rise up into this upper part of the body, to the upper astral realm, so that you can see things new everywhere you are in the dream time. You can make choices, new choices that will then actualize themselves in the daytime, or you can be in the day and be present, be in the heart, and see clearly from thine eye, not from the two eyes, duality, but from an inner, higher anointed eye of heavenly space. And so that leads us into space. So Holy Spirit, when we are in the Holy Spirit, we are in wholeness. We feel whole. We feel holy. We don't have inner conflict going on. We don't feel like we're wondering if we should be doing this thing that's coming up. You feel totally guided in the moment. You feel totally present. You feel 100% in alignment with what you're about to do. And if you don't, you ask within and you can immediately get clarity. And if you don't get clarity, you need to sit and sift through those layers so that you can get clarity. And when you meditate up into the upper astral realm, you're going to be able to see very clear of what's going on. And you can ask your dream state to tell you what's going on as well. You can turn sacred texts. You can look around and everything will tell you what's going on. It's all out here in front of us. Eyes open, eyes closed. And what biofeedback comes back to us shows us where we're at in the structure. Are we in space? So the Holy Spirit is like ether, is like space. When we are in wholeness, we are in our imagination, in that holy imagination, and we're not wishing for things to be better. We see them better. We see, we're not, you know, praying and in this like question. We already know and we trust, we have faith that it is done, because we are in this upper realm. We're in the heavenly space. We're in our head and we're in our heart. And when we expand the heart wide out into the Holy Spirit, onto the plane of existence, we've called it through the years, and we allow ourselves to be held like a comforter, like a blanket with the Holy Spirit, with the white light in the day and the night, then we have full ability to use that ether net, that plane, to then bring in the light particles and let them magnetically organize themselves to be that which you know to be there. So when you vision quest, when you visualize, it is coming into fruition. When you either get the vision from your higher self, from God, from Father of Light, the true Father, the beginning Father, Mother, when you get that vision, or from the Holy Spirit, or from Christ consciousness, or Christ, or Ascended Master that you are, or that is coming to assist you and remind you, when you see that vision come in, or you put the vision in because you're in that holy place of knowing that this is happening for you and for all, then those magnetic light particles can line themselves up and come into divine grace. So in the heavenly state, in the upper astral realm, everything already is. You already have everything. So you wouldn't be wishing and hoping for things because it's already been given to you. So make a checklist to see if all those things that you so-called desired, if you don't already have them. I guarantee you already have them. If you've been wishing for billions of dollars, you already have them. If you wake up to coming out of the land of the dead, coming out of the land of being asleep to what was already yours, your full dominion of this space, of these light particles, then you will see that you already have everything. If you feel like you don't have something and you are ascended, you've lifted yourself into your inner chamber, you've asked for, full connection, reconnection with that which you are, which the God that you are, which with higher Father and higher God, and you've come out of these sleepy states and have full reconnection, then what you are seeking, you will find it instantly. It'll be right there in front of you. Just look around, have faith, have trust, open your heart, be in love, be in service in that moment. I guarantee you it's right there in front of you. Use your mouth, open your mouth and ask. Communicate. Okay, so I was just guided to share about the Christos oil, how important it is that we're meditating and lifting up and rising and connecting, getting up early. If you get up early, light a candle in a dark room to represent and reflect back to you what you're doing. You're lighting it up in the dark room so that you have full clarity always. And you're illuminating so you truly can see with clarity, with eyes of clarity. When I say we're coming out of the land of the dead, meaning you're coming out of, having to get and collect and hoard and have all these things, and then what? In your eternal state, when you go through the eye of the needle, do you take all those things with you? No. You don't need to carry them all with you. Use what you have, and when you need that thing, it'll come again. It's always there. Everything's in front of you. You have to come out of these anchors where you thought you had to collect and let go so that the full torus can move, and so that when you do desire that thing or you need that thing in the next moment, then it's there. Then those light particles can stack themselves up in the upper astral realm, which is space. So the lower astral realm is really focused on the form and on matter. The upper astral realm is focused on the dark matter and antimatter, the space, the ether. So you always have available to you all that you could ever need and beyond, because it's going to instantly bring itself to you as long as you're in the heart, in the driver's seat, and present, and you're thine focused in holiness and wholeness. Yeah. So the last thing I want to say is I was guided to Isaiah 29:11 right when I opened my eyes, and I was going to sit and meditate. And so I'll just read it and then I'll give you a little download. So it's the fall of Jerusalem. And in the beginning of it, I'm just going to read the exact line because I want to keep these short, and I'll just share what I gathered. So 29:11. Okay, so I'm going to start at the blindness and perversity at 29:9. Be irresolute, stupefied. Blind yourself and stay blind. Be drunk, but not from wine. Stagger, but not from strong drink. For the Lord has poured out onto you a spirit of deep sleep. He has shut your eyes, the prophets, and covered your heads, the seers. And then 29:11 says, for you the revelation of all this has become like words of sealed scroll. When it is handed to one who can read with the request, read this, he replies, I cannot, it is sealed. When it is handed to one who cannot read with the request, read this, he replies, I cannot read. And so when I had looked at some of the interpretations, it was talking about a lot of, on the lower end of the lower astral, that even the prophets and the seers have not been able to see or hear clearly, and been giving out, advice, but not really looking at, again, taking it to the eye of the needle and allowing this all to already be given in the higher realms, that you have everything you need and you are wealthy and rich when you unite with God, with your inner Christ, with Christ's message, with all the Ascended Masters' teachings, with space, with all of us being souls and all of us being together as one. There's no separation here. We're still giving out separation, then we've missed the mark, we've missed the message, and we're still in form. When we come out of form, we can trust and then give truly without being attached, because we know that we're already rich with the imagination that would instantly bring it back into form if you are truly of need of it. And even when you leave here in this realm, in this, you're not from this world. You're here in this world, you're not from this world. You're in a greater world of eternal nature. And that greater eternal nature world that exists, that you can access when you meditate, when you pray, when you go lucid dreaming, when you dream wide awake in the daytime, centered in your heart and presence out of time, that's the eternal realm. And you're rich there. You're healthy. You're infinitely, eternally healthy. And so we've got to, seek within into this higher realm, these higher truths, and, awaken. A little paper fell out from my father. It said, God is love, believe, believe, love is God. God is love, believe, love is God. From my father. And then I'll end with, as I was leaving Honeymoon Island just now, there's a sign on the road that says, or on the parking lot, that says no parking, and it's actually poked into the grass. And I was purposely guided to look at it backwards before I left, or before I was going out to sit and meditate and stretch. And when I looked at it backward, it says, King, rap on, rap king. So the king, the inner kingdom, there's an inner rapping going on there. There's an inner dialogue, and it's on, and it's ready for you to receive. And this, when I was leaving, this Indian man next to me, also dressed in all blue. I was dressed in blue. He was dressed in blue. He said, no parking? Can I not park here? And I said, look at it backwards. Look at everything backwards. And I told him about the Rap King that it's on. And he laughed and said, okay. You're in a backwards world when you have only been identifying yourself as this name. You're nameless. You're spirit. You're eternal. And although you may use that name, that boat, that vessel, while you're guided to use it and perfect it and know that this is all whole and all oneness, while you're guided to use that name in that boat, you have to realize that what you're truly going to seek is to recode everything in a higher realm and see it new. And to follow that inner kingdom, that heavenly space of wholeness, as you come back out here into the world. So for those of you who've been in hiding or have been, feel like you've been hidden and you've been doing your due diligence, you've been meditating and praying, and, for me, I've been writing the books of light, and you're being guided to come back out. You're here to see all things new. You're here to see things all perfected, all in wholeness. And when you find that it's not that, it's just time to go back within and do some inner, communicating and get it clear. And then come back out with your heart on, trusting, knowing that you're here to bring heaven on earth. Till next time. Thank you.